Get into it. Sold Not for Sale podcast. Coach Colin here. We got Trump doing something so amazing. I keep saying it, Trump has shown that his revenge is success. That's what he said. That's what he's been doing. But along the way, he's just doing some things that just make sense in the sweetest way. Breaking: Trump is set to strip security clearances from Letitia James, Alvin Bragg, and Anthony Blinken. Let's go. Former President Blinken no longer has his security clearances. Very, very sad. Also banned from all federal buildings. Oh, just perfect. Oh, it's fantastic. That's how it should be. That's how it should be, especially for people like this. Let's get into it a little bit, though. This video doesn't have much to do with it, but Trump's just a quick quote here. When Trump was asked about Anthony Blinken losing his security clearance, he said, "Bad guy, take his passes, take away his passes." That's it. Let's keep it short and sweet. This guy had a lot. These three are more linked than anybody cares to admit. This guy, let's just go into the world of where everything in terms of Trump's prosecution was on the up and up. But this guy had a deep connection to these people. I mean, one of his people in the DOJ even went over to this guy's office, took a major pay cut, went to this guy's office just by coincidence, of course, as they were prosecuting Trump. She ran on getting, quote unquote, Trump, which she did not do. These three are very, very connected. Very, very connected. Way more than most people are willing to actually talk about. It's not just there. You know what? Do I even need this article? Let me jump over to this article. Okay, so Anthony Blinken, Tony Blinken. I'm gonna call him Tony from here on out because he and I are on that type of name basis. He calls me Coach. Blinken's security clearances will be revoked following the same presidential directive aimed at Biden and the 51X spooks last week, Trump told the Post in an exclusive interview. I tried to find the interview. I couldn't find it. There he was quoted saying, "Bad guy, take away his passes." Like I said before, he also added, "This is to take away every right they have," which is revoking their security clearances, including they can't go in federal buildings. James and Bragg are not alone in this. There's actually more. Fox reported National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, Biden's deputy attorney general Lisa Monaco, attorneys Anthony Wiseman, Mark Slade, is that how you say that? And Norm Eisen also have had their security clearance revoked. Of course, Eisen, an anti-Trump lawyer, also represents anonymous FBI agents suing the Department of Justice to block the public identifications of agents who investigated the J6 riots. He also worked with House Democrats on Trump's first impeachment. Of course, not even just because they're enemies, okay? If you even call them enemies, this is politics, whatever. But people who are going to undermine President Trump with having that security clearance, having access to information that borders on top secret or is top secret, classified. This is not information that those people need. They have shown themselves, especially in the last year while Trump was campaigning, the last year of the Biden administration, they showed themselves to be very unscrupulous. And, Blinken stays pretty clean for the most part. But a lot of people, myself included, think he was kind of pulling the strings behind the scenes when it came to Weekend at Bernie's. There were some people who were controlling the arms of Weekend at Bernie's, and I think Anthony was controlling the legs. I'm going to be honest with you. And when Biden had to go meet world leaders, Blinken would actually go in his place. Also, he did a major push to, and this is my opinion, maybe he was just trying to save Ukraine. Maybe he just deeply cares for Ukraine. Maybe he's just a great guy. But he almost got them into war. All of those maneuvers, all of those weapons and money that Ukraine was accessing near the end before Trump took office, it was because Blinken put a push on that to go through. So he's dangerous in that respect. I just don't think he needs any of this information. He's just shown himself to not be in line with what President Trump wants right now. And if you're not in line and you're going to undermine, obviously you shouldn't be there. I mean, Letitia James, I don't even have to explain to you why that lady does not need security clearance. First of all, why does she even have security? Is that a normal thing for a DA to have security clearance at that level? I'm not saying she's a DA, but Alvin Bragg, he's a DA. She's a state attorney general. Why do they have security? Is that normal? I don't know. But again, those three way more connected than anybody cares to talk about. J. Michael Waller, he said on X, Blinken severely damaged public and international confidence in U.S. intelligence in 2020 when he played a key role in orchestrating the campaign to falsely discredit the Hunter Biden laptop story as Russian disinformation that merits a pulled security clearance. I agree. 100% I agree. That's exactly it. He is a key player in not only possibly, I'm not going to go to the 2020 election. I'm not going to do that because they don't like when you do that. But I think that says enough right there. But he's undermined President Trump enough before he even took office. Had enough to do. I'm trying to like dance around laser beaming words right here. Had enough to do with Trump's prosecution that it makes no sense. Now, somebody's going to argue, because I'm actually going to show you a couple of things, and I'll give you a little warning, okay? I'm going to show you a little video of Letitia James because surprise, surprise, she got her security clearance revoked, and now she's suing DOGE and the Trump administration. How about that? I mean, there's no correlation there, I'm sure. We're also going to play this sad-looking fellow here from MSNBC, and he's trying to make the case of, Blinken needs his security clearance because how is Marco Rubio going to talk to him about things? What? Anyway, let's play this. Is it at double speed? It's not. Wow, I'm on fire. Let's go.
National security and intelligence analyst and former CIA senior intelligence officer, Mark Polymeropoulos. Hey, Mark, my friend, good to see you. So what are the consequences of revoking all these clearances?
In the case of former President Biden or perhaps Jake Sullivan and others, this is just kind of the performative theater, the red meat that Trump is throwing at his base. But what concerns me is some of the others, frankly, when you talk about some.
There's a real polite way of just calling all Trump supporters animals, huh? Wasn't that just a real sly, backhanded comment? Because he knows we all love some red meat. But to suggest that we want it raw and that Trump has to throw it to us, that's MSNBC. That's MSNBC. They haven't learned. They're not trying to be in the middle. They're not trying to bring you just news. That's the red meat that he's throwing his supporters. Okay. All right.
Some attorneys. And truth be told, Mark Zaid is someone, a national security attorney in Washington. He's represented me in a case where I was actually fighting for healthcare against the CIA. So, Mark Zaid is someone who has worked on behalf of Republican and Democratic clients. He's battled against government malfeasance. His security clearance is really important, and he has a lot of actually clients in the MAGA world. So this is almost an own goal. And it just shows this is kind of petty and vindictive because Mark ultimately had represented and is currently doing so FBI agents who might be subject of a purge. But this is petty and vindictive. It's beneath the office of the presidency.
Is it petty and vindictive? Because he's making the case that, this guy, he represents people who are Republicans and people who are Democrats. So you can see this is just petty and vindictive. Or does that show something more? Does that show the fact that Trump doesn't care that this guy helps out Republicans and also Democrats? He's looking at it like, no. I don't care if he helps out people on my side. This guy's an issue. Doesn't in my mind, that shows that the guy's more of an issue? Because Trump could just go, well, he does help out Republicans and, we do need that help. And I want to make sure fellow Republicans get the help that they need. Trump's like, no. This guy is such an issue that it doesn't matter if he's bipartisan. Doesn't matter at all. He's an issue. He's a problem. So The little footnotes that MSNBC won't give you. I always like to throw you guys that red meat. You know what I mean?
I think President Trump said that he wouldn't do this. I don't think anyone believed him. And of course, he is going forward now with it.
But, the thing that bothers me in particular, look at someone like Anthony Blinken. What if Marco Rubio wants to call him up and say, hey, this is the situation we're dealing with here. What do you think? I mean, Anthony Blinken won't be up to speed on what's happening.
Right. He won't have a security clearance. And apparently part of these executive orders, he also can't go into, classified spaces as well. So it's also bizarre in that notion. I mean, a lot of times when you have administrations moving from one group to a next, you will have senior officials call on their predecessors. In this case, certainly that won't happen. I don't know if it would have happened anyhow, because I think Marco Rubio would not like to face the wrath of Donald Trump if he ever did call Anthony Blinken. But
what would he need to? You gotta think, this is just for the MSNBC crowd, right? I know you guys aren't that, but think about that. Why would he need to contact Anthony Blinken? What would he need to talk to him about? Let's just be clear, okay? Vivek's not really part of the administration anymore, but first off, forget Vivek. You got JD Vance and Trump to talk to. You're good. You're just fine. Anything you're trying to figure out, anything you need to bounce things off of. You got Speaker of the House Mike Johnson. You got JD Vance. You have Donald J. Trump. You're good, okay? All else fails, you go to Barron. What are we talking about here? You're just fine. You don't need to contact Anthony Blinken unless you're trying to figure out how to disguise something as misinformation. We have a laptop here. How do I get 51 people to lie for me? Oh, well, that's a whole thing. I actually have this relation to this guy. His name's Jeffrey, and what Jeffrey does is really great. I mean, he has a friend, his name's Sean, and they get the baby oil out, and they just have the guys just slip and slide. Gonna have to put something in everybody's... Let me stop there. That joke's going too far. That joke's going too far. I stopped that joke right there. We stop at the baby oil slip and slides here, okay? Okay, I don't want to start getting vulgar and derogatory. And what connection does that guy have to a guy named Jeffrey? You'd have to look into that. Anyway, not Marco Rubio either. I'm talking about Blinken. But that's neither here nor there, But there's no reason for him. There's no reason for these people to have this clearance. So Trump made the right decision 100%. I'm so glad that it's happened. Ban them from federal buildings. And again, even just more to my point, this is what she's doing. Why would he make sure that this person who's saying these things needs security clearance? Watch the gaslighting. If you're from New York, who is this working on? Watch the gaslighting in this clip.
In the past week, Elon Musk and his so-called Department of Government Efficiency have accessed the personal private information of tens of millions of Americans and sensitive data about public and private entities, social security numbers, addresses, tax returns, and more. This unelected group, led by the world's richest man, is not authorized to have this information, and they explicitly sought this unauthorized access to illegally block payments that millions of Americans rely on, payments for health care, child care, and other essential programs. Today, Democratic attorneys general are taking action to keep Americans' personal data secure, to keep sensitive information about Americans private.
Do you see this right now? And I'm not apologizing for interrupting Tish James, whatever her name is. I don't care. Do you see what's going on here? She's like, they've accessed information from the American people. Is that what they're doing? Is that what we've seen DOGE doing in the past week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks since they've been active? Or have they been going to her and her colleagues? Have they been going to organizations that her and her colleagues possibly, allegedly, just maybe benefit from? Have they been going to organizations, looking into what those organizations have been doing and figuring out where the money's been going and who's authorizing the payments? Have they been doing that? Or have they been, like, what do you think Elon Musk is doing with people's tax returns? You think Elon Musk and his DOGE team, you think a man of integrity like Big Balls is taking that data and doing unscrupulous things with it? Are you kidding me right now? You don't get that moniker by being unscrupulous, people. You get that type of moniker by having integrity. It's true. It's true. You don't get a nickname like that being a bad guy. I'm just saying. All right? Like Elon Musk is going to call up some random person and just be like, I see that you ordered Uber Eats 107 times last year. I think that's rather wasteful, and I think if you bought more romaine lettuce, you'd be able to cut off this wasteful spending by at least 90%. Is that what's happening? If you just get that red meat and chicken and mayo, if you like that, I think we can stop all this. I see you order McDonald's a lot. I think if you make burgers at home and use a charcoal grill, is that what he's doing? Is that what he's doing with that information? Or is he saying, wow, some organization just got $56 million because they want to do tests on mice, or they want to fold socks, or they want to check the quality of duck quacks. That one's real. Huh? Is that what he's doing? Which is it? Because she's trying to make people believe that somehow they're penetrating people's personal data, and she's there, her, to protect people. The woman that spent the past 4 years trying to prosecute Donald Trump and take everything from him, while the New York mayor was putting hundreds of millions of dollars into illegal immigrants, leaving people, black, white, Hispanic, working class citizens of America out in the cold in various ways. And for years, them being told that there was no money to do XYZ and no money to rebuild that school, and there's no money for this and no money for that, they pull out $500 million when a bunch of illegal immigrants show up. They clear out the Roosevelt Hotel, pay the people who own the Roosevelt, and just fill it with illegal immigrants. Make sure they get 3 square meals a day. Are you kidding me? And now you're here to help when Donald Trump starts finding waste. Get out of here, man.
And to uphold our Constitution, we have filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration for giving unauthorized individuals access to these immensely sensitive records in violation of the law. President Trump does not have the power to give our private information away to whomever he wants. And he does not have the power to cut federal spending that Congress approved, much less to do so by giving the richest man in the world the keys to all Americans' most sensitive information. As Democratic attorneys general, we are suing to stop this unprecedented and unauthorized attack and to protect your personal information. As I've said before, no one is above the law, and I will not hesitate to uphold the rule of law and protect New Yorkers. Thank you.
Protect New Yorkers. She's going to protect New Yorkers now. Hey, wasn't there someone on fire in your subway just a few weeks ago? Huh? What? Isn't that not the first time someone's been lit on fire in New York? Huh? What? Hey, didn't someone get pushed into the tracks when there was a train coming? Didn't 2 illegal immigrants beat the hell out of a police officer? What? You okay? What are you talking about? Aren't there Venezuelan gangs sneaking firearms into shelters? What? What are we talking about here? I'm here to protect New York citizens. What? That's the one thing you could. There are videos of people doing man on the street interviews, and they're going around. They're like, "Have you ever been assaulted in the streets in New York?" And everybody, from old business people to blue-haired people, they're all just like, "Yeah, actually, I got punched in the face yesterday, and I don't really know why. I mean, somebody took my bike. Yeah, some guy followed me home, and he actually threw me up against the wall. I don't know. I woke up, and I was just in a pile of trash. I don't know." Do you know how many stories there are like that in New York now? It's crazy. I'm here to protect you from the richest man in the world on this attack. Crazy. Who's falling for this stuff? Who's falling for Letitia James staring at a screen, clearly reading off of a piece of paper that's above the camera, which is why her eyes never meet your eyes when you're looking at the screen. She's obviously looking up. Whoa. Wasn't doing an Elon salute just now. Hey, no. Hey, I was pointing up. I was pointing up. I wasn't doing. Hey. I'm just saying. I wasn't doing the Elon salute there. But I'm just saying, she's clearly looking up here. Who's falling for this? Who is falling for this now? Which demographic is it? Because I'm getting messages from 70-year-olds, 60, 65, people in their 60s, 70s, late 50s who are like, "Oh, I've been awake to this for a long time. This has been going on for a long time, and I'm so glad you're doing this. You remind me of Rush Limbaugh." Who's falling for it? Is it the young people? People who are 18, are they falling for it? I would love to meet the people who are hearing a message like this and being like, "Oh, thank God Letitia James is on this. Thank God Letitia James is on the scene. Oh, she's going to protect me. Oh, thank the Lordy Lou." Eric Adams let almost 1 million illegal immigrants into the city. And then he went on record in front of everybody and was like, "This is going to destroy our city." Everybody in the city was like, "You did this." He's like, I know. And it's going to destroy all of us. Eric Adams was like, "Listen, if you got a home, okay, and you got an extra room in your home and it's hard for you to pay rent, maybe you should open up. Maybe you should open up that extra room and take a couple immigrants into that room. We got nice Venezuelans. There's some Russian people. There's some Mexicans. They know how to clean. 2 birds with 1 stone. You know what I mean? Maybe you should let them in." Then 3 months earlier, he's like, "I think New Yorkers should all be vegans. So I'd like for you to stop eating so much red meat. We'll see what we can do about not having you guys have gas stoves." 3 months. I'm not making this up either. This is funny, but I'm not making it up. 3 months before that, we gonna have these robot police officers. They gonna patrol the cities, and they gonna make sure that everything. What? This guy said, "Get rid of gas stoves. You should become vegan." I'm a vegan. I love it. I felt great ever since I became a vegan. You should be a vegan. Robot police let 1 million immigrants into the city, and then he's like, "This is gonna destroy everything." It's like, bro, do you know you? Have you been hearing you talk? Do you have a body double or something? Ah, man, New York, so agitating. But when it comes to listeners, New York is number 2 or number 1. It's between LA and New York. They switch back and forth. There must be some sad New Yorkers. You guys must be sad. You guys watching me, you go outside and it's just dystopian all the time. You guys must be sad, man. You kidding me? You guys are watching me like, yeah, he's spitting. He's spitting facts right there. Go outside, people are still wearing masks. What are you doing, bro? Move. Get out of there. What are you doing? Go to Houston. It's nice. Get a tornado or 2. It's fine. It's like, look, you go to Houston, You might get hit by a tornado. You stay in New York and it constantly looks like your street got hit by a tornado. It's one or the other. It's one or the other. You know what I mean? It's hot. It's hot. It was hot just a couple days ago. You know what I mean? Whatever. Hi, New York. If you guys are watching, it's like 60,000 people just in New York watching the show. What's going on, guys? You guys good? You all right? You subscribe? Hit the subscribe button. If you're allowed to. I don't know what'll happen to a New Yorker. Somebody finds out you're watching this show. You guys are going to jail. Tish James gonna lock you up. I'm protecting you from your own computer. This attack that's happening right now. Anyways, guys, what was this conversation even about? Oh yeah, they lost their security clearances because they're the worst people ever. How about that? Well, good. I'm very happy. None of these people deserve security clearance. Not this one here, okay? Not this one here, okay? Has connections to Epstein. Not this one here, Alvin Bragg, okay? Took a picture with that guy that Joe Rogan had on his podcast that cut somebody's head off. You know what I mean? And I don't know who's worse, the guy who decapitated somebody or this dude. I don't even know who's worse. Anyways, guys, look it up. I'm not making it up. Sheldon Johnson, look it up. Go look up Alvin Bragg's Sheldon Johnson. You'll see a picture of them together. Anyways, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications. It helps the channel tremendously. And other than that, I'm out.